welcome back to another video that's gonna change your life. Now this video is for my ladies. Now I don't mean to separate, this channel is for everyone, but this particular topic for women, delving deep into your intuition, understanding, discerning, knowing, these are skills that are innately in us, right? And we abandon that. A lot of us deny it. I just want to help those of us understand what already is our birthright. So follow these tips if you want to delve deep into your intuition. Let's go. So science tells us that our intuition is based upon history. Things that have happened to us in our lives, things that we've seen, all of that information goes into our brain, goes into our system and remains at our gut. So that is why it's called the gut feeling. To be able to listen to yourself is a life skill. Tip 1, journaling. Journaling is one of the most important and underrated tools to help you listen to yourself. It's so much more than just letting go. Journaling is evidence. It's evidence of how you think, it's evidence of how you feel, it's evidence of what's around you. To develop your intuition, it's important to journal daily. But it's even more important, listen to this ladies, it's even more important to read your journal back weekly. By reading all of that information weekly, is stored into our brain, right? And remains in our body. Journaling is not just physical evidence, but it's evidence for the brain, it's evidence for the body, and it's evidence for the future. On TikTok, I use the scenario of being heartbroken. I'm going to use it today because there's a lot of you that's spoken to me about this, so let's use that. Imagine you're in a scenario where you've exited a relationship. You have documented that no contact period. You may have even documented part of the relationship or the end of the relationship. It was an unhealthy relationship and you've documented how they made you feel. Not just how you felt about them, but how they made you feel. Very important, right? You've read your journal back as a weekly practice just to educate yourself, to educate your brain. They come back and they tell you how they're distraught, how they are different, and how they've seen that you're different and how it can work again. What is your body going to do? Knowing that you've read all of the information weekly, what is your body going to do? What is your mind going to do? Naturally, it's going to reject that person. You have built your intuition over time just by documenting how you feel. Journal as an intentional practice, ladies, to listen to yourself. In order to know, right, ladies, we have to know ourselves. Mastering self. Who am I? By building a sense of knowing about who you are. Your intuition will reject everything that goes against that. You need to curate your life, ladies. Do you have a vision board? Vision boards have completely changed my life. If you want me to do a video on that, I can. Do you make choices that benefit that vision? Do you have timestamps on who you want to be by this time or what you want to do by this time? And of course, it's flexible, life happens, but you had it, right? But you've done it. The reason I, ladies, am able to listen to myself and trust myself, trust my decision making, control my emotion, all of that, the reason I'm able to do all of that is because I know myself. Make a vision board, stick to it, make it big, make it loud. Don't just make it to the year. A lot of people do that. My vision board is my vision board for 3 years. I have a 3-year span on this vision board. And yes, maybe, you know, next year I might switch some things in and out, but it's clear, my vision is so clear. I trust myself enough to know what I want and what's for me. Last but not least, a key skill in being able to listen to yourself is to pause. Pausing is self-care. Pausing is soul care. There are some situations which require an immediate response, right? But most situations do not. Take your time to go back to your plan. Take your time to go back to your vision. Take your time to really understand what I want. Now, even if it's flight or fight mode, right? You still have an opportunity to pause. Like, for example, There was a situation when my daughter was literally maybe 6 months old and I was pushing her in the pram in the park. There was a guy that was behind us, and I got a really, like, a bad energy about it. I was with my child, and you know, the mother intuition is a different level of intuition, right? I just didn't have a good feeling about this, and I needed to see where he was. And so I moved back. I'm using that as an example to say, even if it's flight or fight mode, you still sometimes have a moment to pause and just think. You hear these stories of women are in positions of threat and they panic and they make a sporadic decision and it costs them their life. Whereas there are other situations where women have thought, even in that panic moment, they have thought about it. How might I approach this? And then it saved their life. If you can take a moment to rear back, think, how can I navigate through this, right? What's the best way to navigate through this for me? Hopefully these short tips on intuition have helped you today, ladies. These tips have completely changed my life and I hope it has changed yours.